Aloha and welcome to Chappie's Tiki Bar. This is the Muffuletta episode. I'm going to make a muffuletta based on what I had in New Orleans at Central Grocery and Deli. But first I'm going to make a cockeyed castaway from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas, and then I'm going to do my famous Butterburger. Then we got Appies with Chappie by the lake, where I make some boneless riblets, and an El Presidente from Smuggler's Cove. Coming up on Chappie's Tiki Bar. Aloha and welcome to Chappie's Tiki Bar. We got a fantastic show coming up. I'm going to make a muffuletta, and then I'm going to do my Butterburgers. I'm going to get started with a cockeyed castaway. So this is from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas. A supercharged orange flavored rush. This drink is appropriately named, so be careful not to flip your lid or forget your way home. Start with my trusty cocktail shaker. Add some ice. So it says 1 ounce of Bacardi O orange rum. I don't have any orange rum, but I do have some orange brandy, so we're gonna go 1 ounce of orange brandy as a substitute. A ½ ounce of Ray & Nephew white overproof rum. I'm just going to use a nice aged rum from St. Croix, Cruzan rum. So that's a ½ ounce of white rum, a ½ ounce of Cointreau. I do have Cointreau, so I don't have to do any substituting there. This is Black Cloud Bitters. It's made out of Calgary, Alberta. Just says a dash. So we'll go a dash of orange bitters, and then 1 ounce of orange juice. And it says 2 ounces of Rockstar Recovery Orange Energy Drink. I just have regular Rockstar. I think it's going to be orangey enough, but we'll see. Give it a shaky. And I have my trusty Keep On Trucking mug that I have out at the cabin. And then we have an orange wheel for garnish. And that is a cockeye castaway from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas. Stay tuned. We have best tropical destination stories coming up. Coming up next, Mookie and I are going to make my famous Butterburgers because I'm feeling a little bit peckish. You get it, Mookie? Peckish? All right, but first we're going to do best tropical destination stories. This one comes from me from Costa Rica. I call this story One Particular Harbour, named after the Jimmy Buffett song. So make sure you send your best tropical destination stories to chappiness@yahoo.com, and I'll read them on the show. So we just need Mookie to summon the tiki drums, and I'll begin best tropical destination stories. Thank you, Mookie. All right, so I call this story One Particular Harbor. It takes place in Costa Rica. I was working for Carnival Cruise Line at the time in the casino. We didn't go to this port very often, and it was just a small town. I want to say it was Limon, but I think it was even smaller than that. And again, we hardly ever went there, and when we did, we just went there for the day. So what happened was they had a medical emergency, and we had to turn around and go back. And then we ended up docking for the night. Now, if you work in the casino on the cruise ship, this is a big deal because of international laws. The casino is closed, so we could get off the ship and do whatever we want. Now, this is at night, and it's just a tiny little town in Costa Rica. And there's just one gravel road. And at the one end, there was a Latino bar, and at the other end, there was a discotheque type bar. and those were the only 2 bars in town. So we all get off the ship. Some of us went to the discotheque, others went to the Latino bar. So I went to the Latino bar, but a lot of my friends went to this disco nightclub type place. They said it was just like this huge empty warehouse, sort of like with garage doors and stuff, and loaded with people. So everyone from the ship just piled on in. And then after everybody got inside this huge, sort of looked like an abandoned warehouse where they were serving drinks and had music. So the bouncer or security goes to the main garage part of the warehouse and wraps a chain around the door and locks it. And apparently they needed to pay $20 US as a cover to leave. So this had to be illegal for the fire regulations and basically kidnapping tourists. But my friend said they were friendly enough. They just had to pay $20 to gain their freedom back. So I guess that's a cautionary tale about Costa Rica. I'm sure a lot of people have positive experiences with lovely beaches, and they even have like a black sand beach there. But I found Costa Rica generally to be a toilet. But that's just my opinion. Go see for yourself. Just a cautionary tale. So that concludes my best tropical destination story from Costa Rica. So again, send your best tropical destination stories to chappiness@yahoo.com, and I'll read them on my shoe. So again, coming up next, because I'm a little peckish, we're going to make my famous butter burger. Hey, I'm doing up my butter burgers. So I got a pound of ground beef. So I'm going to add, I have some panko breadcrumbs that have been soaking in milk. It's just going to add a little bit of moisture. I'm going to add 1 egg. Worcestershire sauce. And then you want to season it from the inside, so a little salt and pepper. And I have some Famous Dave's steak and burger seasoning. It's quite nice. Go to Famous Dave's down in Missoula, Montana. He has a awesome barbecue chain. Okay, so here's the key ingredient for my butter burger. I cubed some frozen butter. It's just kind of like when you make a pastry, you put in like cubes of frozen butter. So I'm putting in the cubes of frozen butter to add moisture and buttery goodness. So I'm just gonna incorporate everything. You don't want to over mix it so the butter doesn't unfreeze. And I'm gonna make some patties and put it on the grill. Now I'm going to put some foil on the grill because there's so much fat in here. They'll probably just explode into flames. So that is my butter burger. Appies with Chappie by the lake. Alrighty, so for Appies with Chappie by the lake, today I'm doing boneless pork riblets. So I have a nice pork sirloin chop here. I'm just going to cut it into little bite-sized pieces. So they kind of look like those ribs you get in Chinese food restaurants that are garlicky and nice. So I'm just cutting them into little bite-sized pieces. Nice lean pork. So I'm just going to dust it with some flour. I'm going to season the flour. I just have some Famous Dave's seasoning. It's what I used on my butter burgers. Any kind of seasoning will do. Just make sure you season the flour. But the real key, afterwards, I'm going to hit it with garlic salt. That is the secret. The garlic salt's just going to take it to the next level. So I'm just going to take the little riblets, dust them. I'm going to lightly fry them up. So coming up, we'll give these boneless riblets a try, and I'm going to make a nice cocktail. We'll do a El Presidente. Welcome to Appies with Chappie by the Lake. I'm just waiting on my boneless pork riblets. So I'm going to whip off a drink here. I'm going to do an El Presidente. This is from my Bible, Smuggler's Cove, Exotic Cocktails, Rum, and the Cult of Tiki by Martin Kate. This drink honors a Cuban president, but there are differing accounts to exactly which one it was. Yet he must have been a good one to get his name on a drink this tasty. A sadly forgotten classic, it's described by author Wayne Curtis as part tropical treat, part sophisticated lounge drink, and wholly Cuban. So it's a half teaspoon of grenadine, 3/4 ounce of dry vermouth, a half ounce of dry curacao, and 1.5 ounces of lightly aged rum. So it's just a short drink, but it's going to be a stiffy. So I got my cocktail shaker here. Add some ice. Half a teaspoon of grenadine. I assume that's just to add a little color. And then 3/4 ounce of dry vermouth. Actually have some sweet vermouth. And then dry curacao. I'm going to substitute Grand Marnier and orange liqueur. And then 1.5 ounce of the lightly aged rum. All right, give it a shaky. Into the glass it goes. All right, and I just have a lemon wedge with an umbrella, and that's your El Presidente. All right, I'm gonna check on those pork riblets. Alright, so I'm going to do my muffuletta. This is a sourdough bread. The type of bread isn't important, just the actual shape. You want this this kind of dome-shaped bread. Even bigger would work well. Alright, so I'm going to start off with my tapenade. That's going to go on the bottom layer of my muffuletta. So I just have a rough chop of Kalamata olives and some green olives. Now you could just put this in a food processor and give it a little pulse. You still want it quite chunky though. And then I'm going to give it a hit of red wine vinegar and a good amount of extra virgin olive oil. And then we don't really need to season it because the olives are salty enough, but I got some oregano and some crushed red chili flakes. So again, that's going to go on the bottom layer. You have to be gentle with this. I toasted it a little bit, so it's a little crispy. Take the lid off, but we're going to save it because that's going to be the top. All right. I disassembled the top. I'm going to put a little bit of bread off the top as well, but we're going to basically hollow out the bottom. So we got a nice little lid there. All right, we're just going to hollow this sucker out. Nice and hollow. And I'm just going to add my tapenade. It's okay if there's a lot of juices, the olive oil and the vinegar, red wine vinegar. It's just going to soak it up. It's a sourdough bread, so it's quite dense. Alright, so then we're just going to assemble this sucker. So first of all, I just have some, actually it's Canadian back bacon, or in Canada we just call it back bacon. A sub pack. So it's sorted, it says salami, smoked ham. Probably just do 3 of each. And then pepperoni. Spicy salami. Dry smoked salami. And then I have some nice capicola ham. This is extra lean capicola. Usually get the spicy capicola. I like the capicola, so I'll put lots of that on. Oh, I better get the cheese on before it gets too high. So I got some nice mozzarella slices. Comes with paper, so don't put the paper in the sandwich. Unless you like paper in your sandwiches. Might save this and do another layer of mozzarella. I have some Genoa salami. And we'll go one more layer of mozzarella. And one more layer of capicola, just because I like the capicola. Okay. You can see I have it piled high. I'm going to put the lid on. And then I'm going to get some saran wrap. Wrap it real tight. And then this is going to go in the fridge for 24 hours. So I'll let the dressing from the tapenade soak into the bread, and it'll give it a chance to all set up. I'll wrap this nice and tight. Okay, so this is going to go in the fridge for 24 hours, and then we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching another edition of Chappie's Tiki Bar. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below. This is Chappie saying, life is hard. That's just the way it goes. But sometimes it goes the other way. See you next time on Chappie's Tiki Bar.